Has anyone ever gone through with a marriage pact? You know, like if we're not married by 30 we'll marry each other. How did it work out? Anyone remember Google Mystery Missions years ago? If not, Mystery Missions was a site where you put in a request and other people had to fulfill that request. Each time you reloaded the page you'd get new ones to look through. I stumbled across hers looking for someone to talk to. This was about a decade ago, we were both 14. She was from Memphis, I from Chicago. We instantly became best friends. For years we talked every single day. Around 17-18 we made a marriage pact saying by 30 we'd marry if we were still single. At this point we knew we both had strong feelings for each other, but the thought of being in the same place didn't seem possible at the time. Since the pact, we lost touch here and there. It felt like a big piece of me was missing whenever that happened. We both had relationships that didn't work out. About 2 years ago we started talking about being in a relationship and just being together. I met her for the first time about 18 months ago. We're engaged, and she found a new job in Chicago. Wait. You can't do that. You have to wait till you're 30. Some people have no respect for the rules of love and marriage. Kind of. I made one with my wife when we were kids, like 14 to 15. We lost touch because we went to different schools, had fairly different walks of life, etc. Then randomly started talking on Facebook about 10 years later and ultimately got married about 3 years before the pact would have gone into effect. Edit, added time context. We got married at 27. So you're the kid whose girlfriend actually did go to another school. Yeah, you wouldn't know her. She lives in Canada. My girlfriend from Oklahoma was going to fly in by, she couldn't cause she's doing some modeling shots right now. I took her to the mall to get some glamour shots for her birthday 1 year. I like her bangs. I most definitely would have. I made a marriage pact with my very good friend in 10th grade, around 1988 or so, that we'd get married at 27 if we were both still single. We had every class together for 3 years straight, got along famously, and were just greatly compatible. She went overseas for college and I joined the military, and she just stopped responding to letters after around 9 months. 1992, I get engaged, and suddenly run into her in a mall. I introduce my future wife, and my old friend loses her ducking mind. Right in front of my future bride and all, middle of the shopping center, screaming at me about how I betrayed our agreement, I belonged with her, yada yada yada. Calm as can be, my wife asks her why she stopped writing me then? Like a light switch flipping, old friend starts bawling her eyes out, and plops down on the floor. We hurried the fuck out of there, and I never saw her again. Bullet dodged. Smile. Jesus. What did your wife think of that? Well, it had been an interesting week. I'd actually took her out with some of my old high school friends a few nights previous, and 2 of them were just incredibly rude to her the whole time for no apparent reason. So let's just say her patience for my old group was wearing thin already, and then this happened. She was pretty insecure about ever meeting anyone else I used to know for a while, but luckily everyone else I introduced her to after that loved her. We still joke about what I could have ended up with though, who knows what she's up to these days. She's got no online presence at all, and nobody I still talk to from back then has any knowledge of her. Probably a good thing, really. I feel like she got with someone around the time she stopped writing to you. That's why she started bawling her eyes out when your wife confronted her because she realized I gave him up. Just a theory. Edit, bawling. Made a pact with my first love high school boyfriend. We just started dating again 3 months ago after 10 years of being apart, and he just committed suicide on Monday. I'm devastated. I really thought we were going to have our happily ever after. Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting this in your post. I'm so sorry. Words are not sufficient. My best friend and I made a pact when we were 18 that if we're both still single when we're 30, let's just ducking kill each other. I'm 29. I'm a little older than her. I'm scared. Edit, thanks for the gold. Working on the treatment for the script now. At least she gave you time. Most of the people who have expressed interest in killing me did not want to wait. I think the problem with these is that when you're young, you feel like 30 is ancient and like your life will be mostly over by then. When you get to 30 though, you're still just starting to figure things out. Same with 40 in some ways. Edit, with regard to the fertility issue people keep raising, I guess I never considered it intrinsically tied to marriage. I don't want kids, but even if I did, I'd rather have them alone or with a non-espoused co-parent than in a loveless contract marriage. I've seen situations where people have given themselves deadlines for having kids if they're still single, but a pact marriage to me is a different question. Yes, my cousin did, and it was heartbreaking. She is 6 years older than I am, so 35 when this happened, and apparently the guy she made the pact with was a mama's boy cranked up to 11. The TLDR version: made a marriage pact with someone she knew, watched her cousins and friends all get married and or have babies back to back in the space of a couple of years, so they enacted their pact. Proposed Christmas Day, married on Valentine's, fast-tracked a pregnancy. In the first trimester things go south. Mama's boy involves his mother in their marital squabbles, who convinces him to leave his brand new pregnant wife. Wife gives the ultimatum: show up for the birth or stay gone. Guess who is back living with her parents with a new baby and a divorce in the works? Wow, that dude sounds like a grade A useless douchebag. She'll definitely be better off without him. What was she gonna do? Move into his frickin' mom's house with him? Ugh, I feel like puking. Kinda. My husband and I were best friends in 8th grade and were those kids that kinda hated everyone else at our school. We always said we were going to get married when we got older because everyone else sucks, but never dated in high school because we just went down different paths, but stayed good friends. Started talking more again after high school, started dating, and are now very happily married. Because everyone else sucks relationship sounds kind of fun. It is. Everyone else still sucks, besides him. Some good friends of mine are both gay and lesbian, a gay man and a lesbian woman. They decided if they didn't get in serious relationships they'd marry. They have 2 wonderful kids together and they are amazing people. They are still looking for their ideal same-sex partner, but it's very clear that they love each other and care much for their kids. Edit, clarity. I am the lesbian counterpart in this situation with my gay best friend with plans to do this. So glad it's going well. They'll keep you all updated in about 10 years. Remind me. 10 years. I made a pact with a couple girls but forgot to tell them about it, so I'm single. I joined my high school graduating class in grade 11. It was a rural school and most people there had been classmates their whole lives. Come graduation and people were assigned partners for the graduation parade. I was assigned to a beautiful young lady who had a boyfriend a grade below us, while I had a girlfriend a grade below us. Some guys were ribbing me about my assigned grad date when another guy who was usually quiet spoke up and boldly stated, "I'm going to marry her." Everyone kind of just chuckled and we all headed to our next class. I was very impressed when I reconnected with my old classmates on Facebook years ago and saw that he did indeed marry her and they have grandchildren. Aw, that's kinda sweet. Until you realized he killed his rival who was 1 grade below. And what is sweeter than victory? Edit, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. I had one of these with a friend. I'm now 33 and he's 35. Neither of us are married still, but I just don't want to marry him after all, and he doesn't really seem to want to marry me either. We were 17 and 19 when we made the pact. Well, to play it up, might as well also make a divorce pact while you're at it? Yeah, instead of a marriage pact, let's just promise to divorce each other 1 month after being married in case we ever accidentally end up in that situation. Honestly, at that point just duck each other for a month and save yourselves a lot of work. But if they divorced, they could duck each other for the rest of their lives. One of my friends proposed a marriage pact sometime last year. I'll let you know in like 9 years. Need someone here to set a reminder. I'll prob still be on Reddit in bed with a bag of chips like I am now. Sort of. Had a real close friend in high school that was a social butterfly and, for whatever reason, liked to hang out with awkward nerds like me. One day she suggested a marriage pact if we were both still single at 35, and I agreed with a laugh because, hey, I didn't expect her to remember me among all her other friends and there was no way she'd still be single by then. After graduation her family moved clear to the other side of the country and I figured I'd just be another Facebook friend. But we stayed in touch and actually started talking more. I'm talking constant Skype webcam and phone calls way too late into the night. Turns out I was one of the few people that actually bothered to put anything into a continuing relationship, and about a year after graduation she confessed that she had fallen in love with me. That was 7 years ago. We're getting married in 29 days. Edit, aw shucks friends, thanks. I still sometimes get amazed we worked out the way we did.